I've got this horror of a life story, and I'm thinking about a way that I can use it positively. And I'm in the Maldives on Paradise Island. Went away for Christmas. Was still married. My wife and my daughter was with me. And I'm on the beach and I'm watching the sun come out of the Indian Ocean. New Year's Day 2007, that was. 2006, 2007. I had a little, what I would call an epiphany, where I decided that I would write a book about my life, do a documentary, and make a movie. And the reason why I wanted to make a movie is I need 25 million quid to do the Andrew John Memorial Skill Centre. Now, Andrew John was my brother. He was shot dead in the street. And it was touch and go which one of us would have got killed. And a lot of people believe that it should have been me that was killed rather than him. So I wanted to honor his life, yeah, right? But I've never been the type of man to say, oh, my poor black boy, hand out, cap out, help me, help me, help me. I'm from the school of Malcolm X, and the only help is self-help. So I wanted to do it myself. Now, the interesting thing was, just before that, in 2000, say about 2005, I looked at an American green card. You needed to have $1 million in the bank, and you could buy an American green card. You have to buy a business, buy a house, buy some land, and you can get a green card. And I was gonna go and live in a gated community, and just leave. But I wanted to give something back. So I decided, on becoming an anti-gun campaigner, raising my profile. Now, one of the reasons why I first came onto social media, because after I released the book, that did really well. Then certain TV companies tried to get hold of me, and I ended up doing, in 2008, I did the Danny Dyer episode 1, season 1, most viewed, most watched, best episode. No brag, just fact. But what I didn't cater for is how my life would change once I went onto TV. I knew the avenue that I was going down would cause me some problems from the criminal fraternity, with the path that I was taking. I anticipated the aggravation that I would receive. But what I never factored in was the aggravation my immediate and extended family would receive. My daughter's had her lives threatened, my sisters have had their lives threatened, through the work that I've been involved in. So, and I started this work in 2000, in earnest in 2007. I opened up the Kazuna Increase the Peace program, which was an anti-gun message, and I did that for 8 years. But then in 2013, I became derailed, because I was under constant threat, shots being fired at me. I have to independently verify everything I say, because I'm perceived, or there's a perception of me that I'm duplicitous and I don't tell the truth. When I practice a policy of rigorous honesty, and I'm one of the most honest men you would meet, but there's been a number done on me which portrays me as a guy that doesn't tell the truth. So when people say, well, no, his life hasn't been under threat. Well, go to the Panorama program, Young Gunmen, 2008, and you'll see the shots that were fired on me. They were showed to 8 million people in Britain, 5 shots fired at me at close range, not one bullet touched me. So my life was constantly under threat. My daughter got threatened, my wife got threatened, yeah, right. And eventually, I cracked wide open. I was using cocaine at the time. Yeah, cocaine had a lot to do with it as well. And I cracked wide open, and I became the anti-gun campaigner who pistol whipped a man. I was guilty of a hypocritical act. And when the judge sentenced me, he told me you've been involved in high-profile campaigns, and that you must see the hypocritical nature of what you've done. But what people didn't understand or weren't aware of is the background to that, yet the constant threats that I was under. Now, I was also running a campaign called Gloves Not Guns, brought Evander Holyfield over from America, had him working with me, had Ricky Hatton as my, they were involved in the charity that we were doing, had a lot of the top fighters involved, right? And I was going to do a fight at the Troxy, the 3rd of March, Troxy, Gloves Not Guns. Simple like, what would you rather attend, a fight or a funeral? What would you rather join, a gym or a gang? What would you rather fight with, gloves or guns? And I was trying to show the young men, get in the ring, have a fight, don't be frightened to have a fight, because there was too many funerals. And that was scheduled for the 3rd of March 2013. On the 28th of February, I was in Liverpool to get cortisone injections for my knees. There was a man, that was threatening a young guy that I brought to work for me. The young man owed him £1,500. I paid the £1,500. And this chap misconstrued that as me being wary or frightened of him and was trying to encroach on the businesses that we were doing. So I challenged him to fight at the Troxy. I was fighting a guy called Rocky, and I said, come down there, get in the ring, we can sort our differences out in the ring. And he said no. He was going to end me, burn down my sister's hairdressers, and he also threatened my daughter. And I broke wide open, and I decided I was going to kill him. Yeah, I've been getting pressured. Also, it was the cocaine. And I was in Callan's military shop on Dale Street, and I bought a machete, because I was going to behead him. I was going to take his head. I'm more of a swordsman than a gunman. But when I'm in the shop, I'm hearing a voice in my head telling me, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not kill. And I looks down in the counter, and I see a Seeger imitation firearm. And it's either a moment of disaster or a moment of epiphany. It all depends what way you look at it. But I decided there and then that I was going to pistol whip this guy rather than kill him. And I did pistol whip him. He went to hospital and I went to prison, in disgrace. And that's when I did 3 years prison, came out of prison in 2016, but it could no longer be an anti-gun campaigner because of the hypocritical act, but I could still work as a peace campaigner. My slogan was to help young men come out of the dark and into the light, and at the same time, expose the men in positions of authority and power who utilize that authority and power to hold the rest of us down. Had a very large social media following, and my new alter ego was as the fighting preacher. I've morphed from the devil to the fighting preacher. And that's the mantle that I prefer now, because my nickname was the devil. And just to reiterate how that title came across, or how I became to be known as devil, because there's some people that say that I've appointed that name to myself and that it's not true. Well, there was a guy that wrote the book, a guy called Graham Johnson. Graham Johnson came to see me around about 2005. And he says to me, he was looking for the Paul Bennett story where Paul Bennett and John Ass had paid a bribe to one of the Tory leaders. And he was told that if you want to find any tapes in Liverpool, you want to know what's going on in Liverpool, you see Stepen French. And he found me a fascinating guy, and he wanted to write a book, and I always knew that I'd write a book, yeah. And the book that I was penning was called Tall, Dark and Dangerous. It's a play on tall, dark and handsome. So, but when he did his research and he went to speaking to people, it came back and he said, these people are telling me that you was called a devil. The book's got to be called a devil. Well, I'm not a religious person. Yeah, right. I'm a spiritual person, and I believe in the Trinity. And there was much argument with regards to the title of the book. But in the end, I regressed. I dressed back to his knowledge, because I understood the commercial grab of that title. And I believe the book sold around about 40,000 copies, which is for a semi-autobiography. It wasn't an autobiography, it was an account of my life. Those who haven't read the book, if you read the book, it's explained. I never wanted to call the book The Devil. Yeah, I wanted to call it Tall, Dark and Dangerous. He interviewed people, and it was people that he interviewed that had run-ins with me that told him that my nickname was The Devil. So I'd just like to clear that bit up, because people, there's a rumor that I appointed that title on myself. You know, because I even argued with them. Can we call it, they called me the devil. Yeah, right. But it was right what he did, because I did, and it was all with regards to, not for financial gain, because I let him keep all the money for the book. Yeah. It was to raise my profile. And the reason why I wanted to raise my profile is so I could reach into the communities. And it was initially the black communities, yeah, right? Because I'm not a racist, yeah, right? And I'm not anti-white, I'm pro-black, yeah, because I'm a black man living in Britain. And that's my community, yeah, and that's where I wanted to reach into, yeah, right? Because I was working at the hard end, yeah, right? Because that's where all the killing was going on. Manchester, Leeds, Handsworth, St. Paul's, Chapeltown, Moss Side, Cheetham Hill, yeah. I'm known in all those places. Yeah, and I visited all those places, and that was the work I was doing. I fell by the wayside. Yeah, came out of prison, I was still doing the work. But then I started to attack the establishments on Merseyside and the corruption that's rife within all the services on Merseyside. And I wrote an unofficial white paper called Institutional Racism and Malfeasance in Public Office. Because malfeasance on Merseyside is the regular way of doing business. I was the first person to expose the mayor. I did a project 89K 2016, yeah, where I housed and homed 12 homeless people. We fed them, we clothed them, and we looked after them. Yeah. And the people of Merseyside, through social media, got involved, and it was really, we did well. We called it Project 89K, because 89K is the money that he used to pay his legal fees and wangled off the council money. But you would never see or read or see any of that stuff in the Liverpool Daily Post and Echo. Yeah, right, because Liverpool's a closed shop. Yeah, they get about £1 billion a year to run Liverpool, and it goes to about 5-6 people, and the money gets put to the same people all the time. I understand that there's a guy called something Kenwright. Yeah, the press turned against him and turned him into something that he was. And that's what happened with me on Merseyside. Yeah, I was still dabbling in drugs myself. I was divorced by this time now. Yeah, I'd left my wife. Yeah, and I was seeing 2 girls at the same time. Yeah, and I decided to settle down with one of them. I can't name the lady, yeah, right, because she has anonymity for life. She accused me of raping her. Yeah, and the reason why she accused me of raping her is the other girl fell pregnant. An abortion was organised. Then October 2015, my daughter, my eldest daughter, took me for dinner in Manchester for my birthday. Told me that she was pregnant and that she was having a baby. She wasn't getting married. She was just second year university. Yeah. After the initial shock of that, I was happy that I was going to have my first grandchild. Then the big, bad, wicked devil Frenchman had a crisis of conscience. On the one hand, I'm celebrating the birth of my first grandchild, and on the other hand, I'm organising an abortion of a child that was possibly mine. There was other guys in the frame because the girl wasn't just seeing me, but I'd been having sex with her at the time, and I was in the frame, and she was saying that I was the daddy. So I contacted her and I told her to cancel the abortion. Yeah, and when the baby was born, we'd do a DNA test, and if the baby's mine, the baby will be fine. The mistake I made, I'd been honest with the girl that I was living with at the time. This is the girl who accused me of rape, but I didn't tell her that I'd cancelled the abortion. And my thinking at that time was this: there's a good chance this child isn't mine. If we do the DNA test when the baby's born, no harm, no foul. If it is my child, I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. Unfortunately for me, people always interfere in my life, and somebody phoned her up and told her that the baby was getting born, that she was being played for the fool, and that I was lying to her. She wanted me to speak with her with regards to this, but I don't argue with females. I don't argue with them. I try to walk away from them, try to get away from them. I wouldn't engage with her. I didn't realize at the time, but in hindsight, she was carrying a recording device, and she was trying to goad me into an argument, goad me into doing something to her. Yeah, I'd been in prison for the pistol whipping. I'd come out, but I was on license. I was on license for the years 2016. Now, within 2016, January 2016. We were living together. She jumps down the stairs. Yeah, she says, I'm getting you recalled. Picks up the telephone, dials 999. Yeah, I start screaming into the phone, he's killing me, he's killing me, he's killing me. She's got an 18-year-old son. He was over from Dubai visiting us. Yeah, right? And I only fight with men. So I told the young man, if you don't stop your mum doing what she's doing, I'll take it up with you and all the men in your family. Anyway, the police came. She went off with the police. Yeah, she was questioned as a vulnerable person. Yeah, and she was asked one of the questions she was asked, has Stepen French ever sexually assaulted you? Yeah, this is January 18, something like that. She says, no, there's never been any problems like that. She comes out of the police station. She phones me up. She says, I'm very, very sorry, Stepen. I was drunk last night. I was drunk and it'll never happen again. Now, this is 216. Yeah, but I'll make a reference to what happened in 220 to George Floyd, although this didn't happen yet, right? I said to her, the police could, and I always had a fear that the police have been strangled. I've only ever been put unconscious twice. Once it was by 4 tornado squad officers, and once it was by 4 Merseyside police officers that choked me out. I was fortunate enough to come round, you're right. Now, in 220, they did it to George Floyd, but this is 216. I've made a reference to that, you're right, because I call her being George Floyded. Yeah, so I said to her, words to the effect, yeah, you could have got me George Floyded, yeah, right, me and you were done. Yeah, I'm moving out the house. Yeah, you can stay in the house. I'll find somewhere else to live, but I ain't staying with somebody that's gonna set my traditional enemy on me, because I've always seen Merseyside police, yeah, as the traditional enemy for black people, yeah, especially black people that are involved in criminality, yeah, right. The police have always been our traditional enemy. So now, she goes back into the police station and tells them that I raped her. I raped her 2 weeks before Christmas. Yeah. I'm arrested for that. I'm recalled for that. I'm put into prison for that with a target on my back. Yeah. When I get to prison, Liverpool, they say to me, would you like to go into the protection wing? Yeah, right, because you're gonna have a hard time in this jail. Yeah, well, only the guilty go on protection. Only nonces go on protection. Yeah, I never raped nobody. I'm not a nonce. Yeah, and I didn't need to go on protection. I went into general population. I was in about 5 prisons, but I'll speed the story up. So, Merseyside police finally had a witness against me. The malfeasance and corruption that was used to bring these charges against me, yeah. If I was a 25-year-old uneducated young black boy, yeah, I'd still be in jail now. But I knew how to fight them. I knew who to write to. I had a good legal team, yeah, and I knew what information to ask for. And I knew that I would smash that case to smithereens. She was a convenient conduit for Merseyside police to finally bring down the big black book. The big black book that had been a pain in their side for a long time. The big black book that was pointing at their corruption and how they conduct themselves, yeah, in their positions of authority and power, and shining a light on what they were doing. So they had me in their crosshairs.
Can I ask, do you feel bitter about that whole experience?
I forgive them all. Yeah, I forgive everything that's been done to me. See, here's the thing, with regards to that, as a young man coming through, yeah, I've carried out some heinous acts of violence against people in order for remuneration for myself. What I realized, and it was Joy Walker, the mother of Anthony Walker, murdered in 2005 in Highton by the Bartons for being with a white girl, had an ice pick put to his head. I seen Joy Walker on TV 3 weeks after the murder of her son, forgiving the killers of her son. And it was that Christian woman that taught me about the power of forgiveness. So I've committed a lot of heinous acts that I want to be forgiven for. You right? When it was my turn to be put through the meat grinder, when it was my turn to be robbed, when it was my turn to have everything that I had taken off me, I wasn't going to bitch and cry. Yeah, I took it on the chin like a man. Yeah. And it was people close to me that robbed me, people close to me that took stuff from me. You right? But I forgive them and moved on from that. Yeah, I forgive them and moved on from that.
Can you trust anybody then these days?
I've learned discernment, how to discern, yeah. And I don't take counsel from fools. I take counsel from the wise. And trust, like respect, isn't demanded, it's earned. And yes, there's people that I trust, and there's people that I know that I'll never trust. Yeah. So.
Because you were saying all the people around you that you knew, they were taking from you when you were in that position of weakness. You know.
Listen. When you go to prison, you find out who's who in your life. You really do find out who's who. Now, I've always been a protector and a provider, yeah, right? And I love all my family. Every member of my family I love, yeah, right? But I'm getting shots fired at me. I'm getting my house petrol bombed, yeah? I'm getting men turning up to my house, smashing the windows in, trying to get in, shouting pedo out. Yeah, I became too toxic to be around. Yeah, right? And I didn't turn my back on my family. I would never turn my back on my family. My family turned their backs on me because I became too hard to be next to. Yeah, right? Now, it's interesting, yeah, right? Because when I was the devil, and I was fully immersed in criminality. Yeah, I was the most popular guy in my family. Yeah. When I was taking everybody abroad, buying parties, doing whatever I was doing, I was the greatest guy. When I decided to go in a different direction and try to book the system, and the system came after me. Yeah, that's when they try to bring you down. And you can sound paranoid, you can sound like you're working with conspiracy theories, but here's the situation, yeah? I am an intelligent man, I am a well-read man, and I'm very articulate, yeah, right? But I don't see myself as anybody's victim. I've never been a victim. I was a victim when I was a kid, when I was very small, and the stuff that happened to me when I was a child. Yeah, right? But I've never let any of that define or shape me. Yeah? Now, that's beat the rape charge, got thrown out before trial. She was exposed as a liar. She was exposed in the paperwork. I took Merseyside Police, Merseyside CPS, Liverpool Social Services, Liverpool Probation Services. I took them all to the High Courts of Justice, yeah, and I run cases against them all. I won some, I lost some, yeah, right? But I exonerated myself, yeah, and exposed that corruption. Exposed the corruption so much that in Liverpool, it's true, I went through my MP, I went through the Ombudsman, yeah, and I followed the procedure all the way through. And it resulted in them having to send me a letter of an apology and also change their policy, the policy with regards to confidentiality. These are the changes that I've made happen through my political agitation, yeah, and my political acumen, yeah, with regards to fighting the system, yeah, right? Because the system is broken, the system is corrupt, it holds the majority of people down. Yeah, and if you put your head above the precipice, yeah, you get it shot off. So I got out of prison. The children were, my granddaughter was born, my daughter Karma was born. Yeah, and it's January 2017. Yeah, and I know I've got to get out of Merseyside. And the reason why I've got to get out of Merseyside is I've got to take myself outside of their jurisdiction and give myself some respite. I'm still trying to do the work that I'm trying to do, yeah, right? But Liam, at this time, yeah, right, I'm beginning to be physically exhausted, yeah, physically and mentally exhausted, yeah. I'm lackluster. I've got no energy. So I'm down south and I go to the doctors. Yeah, and I think I've lost my interest in sex. I'm not interested in anything. And I think it's something to do with my testosterone. So I go and have my blood tested. And everything's fine. They tell me that I'm clinically depressed and I need to go on medication. Well, I'd self-medicated for a long time with cannabis and cocaine. Yeah, right. I've given up drugs and I wasn't going to start taking the drugs that they wanted to give me. Yeah, right. So I went into therapy. Yeah, with a guy called Mike Weebly at a place called Spectrum, £80 an hour. The revelations that I found about myself in doing what they called work and doing therapy, yeah, was fantastic. And I was with Mike for about a year. Then I was fortunate enough to get a place at the Portman Clinic over by Switch Cottage, yeah, right, with two eminent psychiatrists, yeah, right. And I got into a group, violent offenders, men that are addressing their criminal behavior. Yeah, I actually, there was a couple of killers in the group, and I actually christened the group Monsters Inc. Yeah, we had a good laugh on that. Yeah, but the work that I did, I was at the Portman for 5 years, and the work that I did, yeah, and Dr. Hussein and Dr. Mim, yeah, diagnosed me with complex post-traumatic stress disorder. Yeah, I won't go too deeply into that yet, right? But that was the diagnosis that I was given, because I've been shot at 6 or 7 times. I've been shot, I've been stabbed, I've been petrol bombed, I've had contracts put on my life. Everything that I'm saying to you, I can independently verify. Yeah, other than my words. Yeah, it's like when I say, if you want to see me getting shot at, go and look at Young Gunmen, the Panorama program, or look at the Danny Dyer program, and you'll see the young guy standing there. Stepen French can't come round here anymore. Stepen French is the grass. He got shot at. Yeah, well, that's all true. I did get shot at. What isn't true, yeah, you're right, and one of the reasons why I'm back on social media, yeah, you're right, is that I ain't a grass. I ain't a police informer, yeah. And I'm coming back, see, because I came to London, got to COVID time. We were all locked in, yeah. And I decided I'd missed the boat, and I was exhausted, and I needed rest. So I closed down all my social media. I came off social media, and I was licking my wounds down here, and I was getting healthy again. I was also doing the work because the child that I almost had aborted was born. She was living with a mum, and I reported the mum for neglect, the stuff that I seen going on in the house. Yeah, and I made a residency order in 2018 for the child to come and live with me. That failed. I failed in 2018. Yeah, right. But the independent social worker, she said to me, Stephen, and this is one of the reasons I went into therapy, go and do the work. Address your criminal behaviour, address your offending behaviour, get some time under your belt, yeah, and prove that you're okay. July 2023, Liverpool Social Services get hold of me, saying that my daughter's in trouble, that they've got some safeguarding concerns with regards to the mother. She's turning up to school hungry, she's turning up to school smelly, she's the dirty, smelly kid in class. And this is all in the Liverpool Social Services paperwork. I received that, and they've got a concern that they need to parentally assess me again with the view for me to being a primary caregiver. They need to parentally assess me, they need to drug test me, and they need to see if I can do that. September, my brother Gordon Meakin passes away, and we bury him, and I'm in Liverpool, and I've got a Christian brother called Jed Mack, and Jed Mack's been on at me to do Billy Moore's podcast, the All or Nothing podcast. But I was done, I was finished. But because Jed's done a lot for me and he's stuck with me, yeah, I said, okay, I'll do the Billy Moore podcast. And I came back to social media, and the response has been incredible. And then I realized that I'm not finished at this present time. 3 things have happened to bring you up to where I'm up to today, yeah, right? I've been parentally assessed by an independent social worker. Yeah, I've been found at this premises where you are now that I can be a primary caregiver and my daughter can come and live with me. So we're still in the negotiations with Liverpool Social Services with regards to whether she's getting taken off her mother and given to me, or whether she's going back to the conditions that she's living in. We've got to have that fight, but I'm now cleared. I was DNA something or the other. I was hair strand. They took I've got no hairs on my head, so they had to take them from my armpits. Yeah, right. So now I've got paperwork to prove I'm cocaine free, I'm weed free, I'm drug free, and I'm in the best place that I've been in a long time. Don't want to make this about spirituality or the Christian side of the stuff that I'm doing. That's a whole separate network. That brings me up to where I am now, yeah, right? So the trauma that I've been through and the stuff that's happened to me, and I've lost everything. I lost my property, I lost my business, I lost a lot of my money, yeah, right? But I'm not interested in any of that. I'm interested in being a primary caregiver for this child. Yeah, she's going to be 8 in March. Yeah, I've got a 2-bedroom penthouse flat upstairs. Yeah, right. One of the bedrooms is for her. I'm now in prime position where I've passed address my offending behaviour. I've proven that I'm drug free, and I'm proven that I can be a primary caregiver. That's on the one side, yeah. Now on the other side, yeah, I realize I have an opportunity because to try and finish the work that I did with regards to the Andrew John Memorial Skills Centre. So I'm following the same program again, yeah. I'm writing a new book, and the new book that I'm writing, yeah, is called The Devil Decoded. I've decoded how I became the man that I was, yeah, and how monsters are made. They're not born. Monsters are made by neglect, physical abuse, sexual abuse, social deprivation. Yeah, and these are the things that have all happened to me. Yeah, through being in the care system, and it's not. Woe is me. Oh, I'm a victim. No, this is said matter of factly. This is put clinically, statistically, scientifically. Yeah, this is how this happened. And the devil decoded. Yeah, I'm not going to release the book till my mum passes away. Yeah, because there's certain things about my childhood that I'm going to say in the book that I don't want my mum to have to read. She's 90, she hasn't got long left. She's got Alzheimer's, yeah, right, and I'll publish that book, yeah, when she goes. I'll do the book. I'm working with a guy called Rocco. We're going to do 12 one-hour documentaries, which is going to be my legacy, yeah, because here's the situation. I am bringing the receipts about myself. Too many what I call skid marks and no marks have had too much to say about my character and the person that I am. So I'm going to bring the receipts and shine a light to the truth with regards to myself. And one of the reasons why I'm doing it is I've got a grandson and a granddaughter. Yeah. My grandson's 4, my granddaughter's 7. Yeah, and I'm starting to read. Yeah. So there's going to be points of reference on social media about their grandfather when they go. Because I've got a niece called Naomi, and our Thomas, he goes to school, and the kids have said to him, he's very proud of me, and your uncle's a grass, this, that, and the other, and he's had fights in school. So I'm going to put the record straight with regards to the assassination of my character and who I am, because I'm one of the most robust men that you will ever meet. Yeah, I have a fearless nature, yeah, right? This isn't about my glorification. This isn't about me saying I'm this tough, hard guy. It's nothing to do with that. Yeah, it's to do, I'll write the book, yeah, I'll do the documentaries, and I'll try to make the movie again, yeah, and making the movie, yeah, right, it's not about financial gain for me, yeah, it's all about honoring my brother's memory and trying to finally get this Andrew John Memorial Skills Centre off the ground. The Skills Centre will know no race, no creed, no background, and it will teach our young men a skill so that they can provide for themselves and their families without being involved in drugs, guns, or becoming pistoleros and killing each other. Yeah, all this way, I've been doing this work now since 2005. Yeah, so that's nearly 20 years I've been doing this work. People say he's not in earnest. Yeah. Here's a staff for you. I will say to you, I've spoke to 1 billion people. August the 18th, 2012, Sky TV News, I'm with Evander Holyfield. Yeah, Evander Holyfield's been interviewed. I'm now about to be interviewed. Yeah, the driver comes to take me to, he comes to take him to the studio, and he's driving me, and he says, do you know, Mr. French, you're going to speak to 50 million people today, yeah, throughout Europe and Sky TV, yeah, and this was prophesied by Bishop Ebby in 2009, that this was happening. I didn't believe it happened, but it happened. And I said to him, yeah, and then later on today, I'm on Radio Europe, yeah, and I'm going to speak to another 50 million people. So I've spoke to 100 million people in one day. The Danny Dyer program has been on a loop for 10 years, yeah. I've been to Australia, I've been to America, I've been stopped everywhere with regards to that program, yeah. So with my TV appearances, with my radio appearances, with my books, with my documentaries, yeah, I'm way over. I've spoken to 1 billion people, yeah. Just on the loop of the Danny Dyer program. It's like I did the James English podcast. I wanted to do 1 million, yeah. It's hovering on the mid 900,000s, yeah. I've done 1 million with James Atwood. Yeah, and it's not about, oh look, I've done this. I'm telling you, and the message has always been the same. The message has been love, light, and hope. Yeah, change powered by choice. And when I was a kid, I had limited choices, and I made some poor choices, yeah, and I ended up down a certain path. It's taken me a long time to get off that path, yeah, and be on the path that I want to be. And you asked how I'm feeling now. Yeah, I'm 64 years of age. I've got another good 10 years in me, yeah, to try and fulfill my dreams, fulfill the aims and objectives that I set out for myself. You're right. Now, here's the interesting part. This is the interesting part. Last time when I was taken to the precipice, I fell in, pistol whipped the guy, yeah, and my reputation was in tatters. I was called a hypocrite. I've been taken to the precipice again in 2017, yeah, where I was accused of sexually interfering with my own daughter. All rubbish, you're right, that affected me deeply. Yeah, right, very treacherous man, very duplicitous guy, yeah, says that I mention his name, yeah, to get clicks. I never knew who he was, yeah, until 2013, when he wrote to the Liverpool Echo and told the Liverpool Echo he had a fight with me in prison and threw me down the stairs. Complete fantasy, complete lies. Yeah, the Echo had to retract that. I never knew who he was until he bigged himself up on my name. And this is another reason why I'm, but there's so many things, even in my own family, yeah, being said about me that are not true. And I'm bringing the receipts, I'm bringing the truth, and I'm shining the light on the lies that are getting told. And I feel strong, I feel powerful, I feel energized, yeah. And when I went to, I got a great compliment off a friend of mine called Peter McDowell. Peter McDowell is my martial arts brother. We've known each other close on 50 years, my Kazuna brother. And he came to my brother's funeral, and he hadn't seen me for about 3 or 4 or 5 years. And he looked at me, and he always plays it straight with me, Peter. And he said, Stephen, you have peace in your face. And that's what I've got now. I've got peace in my life. There's no strife, there's no war. I won't be goaded like I was goaded last time, yeah, by threats to my family and threats to this. And I will stay the course this time, yeah, because I now have a network of support. I was doing everything by myself, but now I've got a network of support. And one of the reasons why I feel this interview is serendipity, yeah, right, is I'm using it to announce, get used to seeing my face. You're going to see me everywhere. And I'm going to be with my receipts. And I'm going to be bringing the truth to the liars, yeah. And I'll be targeting those that have told lies about me in books, in documentaries, with hard facts and hard receipts. For example, and I'll finish on this, yeah. There's a thing called an Osman warning. An Osman warning is a police mechanism that's given to you when the police have intelligence that your life's in danger. Yeah. And I think it was late 90s, early 2000s, I got an Osman warning that there was a £30,000 contract on my life, and that I was going to be killed. Same time when all the firebombings was going on, I was going to be killed. Yeah, right, because something happened. A guy called Dave Smith, his house was burned, and his children died in the house. He was a doorman. he refused somebody some entry into the club, and the people said, I'll be back with Frenchie. Yeah, I don't even know them. I ended up getting the blame. I ended up having a contract placed on my life over that. Yeah, a guy called Joey Owens has wrote about it in a book. Yeah. The man that was sent to Ireland to bring the Irish over to kill me wrote to me in prison. Me and him are now friends. Yeah, he's the chaplain at Alder A. Gives little kids the last rite before they go to see Jesus. Yeah, there's a church called Bethel Church in Bootle. Talked about Jed Mark. I was there, went up to Liverpool to see Liverpool. I'm not supposed to be able to go to Liverpool, so I went to Anfield on my own to watch Liverpool play Man United, just to prove a point. Yeah, and at the same time, yeah, I went to Pastor Graham Jones's church, yeah, by the Mons in Bootle. And he says, I've got somebody that I want you to meet. He says, I've got somebody that I want you to meet. And as the guy walked, I've never met the guy that tried to kill me or who got the contract on my life. But as I seen him, I knew who he was. Said, you're the guy that tried to kill me. He was paid £30,000 to kill me. He goes, no, it was £80,000. Yeah. And for whatever reason, it never happened. But we met in the house of God. We forgave each other and we hugged. Yeah, right? Now, I can't call these people's names because the stuff's all lie. Yeah, right? But I've got the receipts and the facts and the evidence for me to prove what I'm talking about. Yeah, and those that were at the church know this is the truth. Yeah, right? Because I am one of the rarest people to ever come out of Merseyside. And I'm going to put my own legacy down with regards to the truth about my character, the truth about my nature, and the truth about the work that I'm trying to do. Yeah, right? Because all I want to do, yeah, is give something back.
Can I ask one thing? Do you think by sort of going back and revealing the truth about everything are you not going to bring a load more heat down on you, which may disrupt your peaceful nature now? How difficult will that be?
The book of Jeremiah 24, it's year 24, yeah. And I put my faith and my trust in my Creator. Whatever's going to be is going to be, yeah. But the truth's the truth. Yeah, and the truth has to be brought to the light. Yeah, right? Now, one of the reasons why people had problems with me is I'm not frightened to die. Yeah, I'm not frightened to die of violent death. People have tried to kill me. Yeah, right? It's not that I've got a death wish or I want to die. Yeah, right? But I'm not going to be silenced. Yeah, because there could be consequences. Yeah. Now, what I've had to do, is distance myself from all of my family. Yeah, don't speak about my family, don't name my family on social media, don't do anything. I'm distanced from them, you're right? But this is my life. This is what I'm going to do. And this is what I feel is my destiny to do, yeah? And I believe now that because when I tried to do it last time, I was still doing cocaine, I was still high. I wasn't 100%. Yeah, and here's the beauty of everything now. I can put you in my phone and I can give you, they're called DNA legal. I can give you my test results from them. Yeah, like that I got about 2 weeks ago. No cocaine, no weed, no nothing in my bloodstream. Yeah, right? And this is what I'm talking about with regards to receipts. Yeah, I'm clear of mind. I'm clear of purpose. Yeah, and I know that this work's got to be done. Whether I'm successful or whether I achieve the goals that I've set for myself, remains to be seen, because I've been talking about the Andrew John Memorial Skills Centre since 2005. I've done a lot of work. I've been in a lot of schools. I've been into the prisons. I've done a lot of stuff. That I keep private. I mentor a lot of young men. One of me mentorees is coming down to stay with me this weekend. His mum sent me a Valentine's gift, and she thanks me. I've got lots of testimonials from mothers that have put their sons on the straight and narrow. Some, and I guess, and these are the messages that I get that fuel me to go forward, to fuel me to keep doing the work. And it will draw heat, and it will draw attention. But I've weathered that storm before. But this time, I won't be goaded into violence. I won't be goaded into making the mistakes that I made last time. I have the experience and I have the wisdom. The truth is my shield. And my rapier wit is my sword. And my fearless nature will help me deliver that. And what I call them, you'll see them, they'll come onto your comments, skid marks and no marks, I call them. They'll have a lot to say about me, but I'm not interested. You understand? I'm interested in doing what I want to do. I'm interested in achieving what I set out to achieve, and that's giving something back to my own communities.
I've got one final question I want to ask you.
Okay.
Just a brief one. You're so honest and so straight about everything you say. Is there a vulnerable side to you? You see, like, you can cope with everything and something else, but is there a vulnerability that you go up and lie down in the bed and think, "Oh, can I do all of this? Have I got it?"
One of the things that we learned, one of the things that I did when I was doing the therapy that I did, was to get in touch with your own vulnerable side. So I know who to be vulnerable with and where to be vulnerable, and I can't not say that. Let me put it this way. I've traded my arrogance, because I was quite an arrogant guy. I've traded my arrogance for humility. I try to be humble now. I don't judge nobody. I make no judgments on anything or anybody. I'm just doing the stuff that I do. And I have the twin dragons on my back of honor and integrity. Now, I thought my fearless nature came because I've had it beaten into me because of the hard life that I've had. But I'm being discipled by Pastor Graham. And in one of the Proverbs, it says, if you walk with honor and integrity, God will provide you with a fearless nature. And I now realize that my fearless nature is a gift from God. I truly believe that. And I truly believe that I'm protected. I've been, because of the attempts that's been made on my life, and I've survived them. I truly believe I have a destiny to fulfill. And I gave up. I was beaten down and laid down, like he said, in 220. And then there was other people like Jed Mack, Pastor, that picked me up and said, no, you've got to go forward again. And here I am going forward again. but I'm not walking with the arrogance that I had. I'm walking with humility, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you so much for giving me the time to speak to you.
Thank you very much.